Why does The Last Supper look like it's set in an Olive Garden? It looks like somebody went into the main room and took a photo right after Uncle Tony finished giving a blistering soliloquy about his true thoughts on Mexicans. Did you all know that there's a company called Kuman? That's a terrible name for a company. I can't tell whether they shoot porn or make Mexican food. Ireland is what happens when you let Wisconsin become its own country. I feel bad for speech pathologists in Boston. How can they tell between who needs help and who was just born there? Can we all just agree that Snoop Dogg and Jimmy Buffett are the same person? They both like to party, they both dress outrageously, and white people yell way too loud when either one of them is in the building. Has anyone else realized that Rocket Man is just 5 minutes of a guy telling us about how he's not qualified for his job? What if Taylor Swift and Jonathan Swift are related? That means it's only a matter of time before she starts writing songs about eating babies. Counting Crows seems like a band that's trying to constantly answer the question, how can we be a Bob Dylan cover band without actually being a Bob Dylan cover band? Why are all South Korean boy bands named like their prison inmates? BTS N2B 2PM, the warden wants to see you now. BTS N2B 2PM, please report to the warden's office. If you're paying $1,500 in rent, but you still keep your neighbors up at night with an air mattress pump, you are a sentient trash bag, and we cannot be friends. You have to be careful when you're buying beer, because it can go bad in the can. What I wanted to buy was a Modelo, but instead what I got was a Mexican V8 Splash that could also get you fucked up. Why is there no such thing as a casual runner? People are either afraid of a walking treadmill, or they're like, this weekend I'm putting on an adult diaper, running the entire length of Rhode Island, and hoping for the best. Cirrhosis is just the director's cut version of alcohol poisoning. Why is it so hard to buy individual yogurts at the store? Every time I try and find them, they're always tucked away in some dark corner, and they're always 5 for $6, so I feel like I'm buying loose cigarettes on a prison yard. Instead of calling someone hangry, can we just say that they have emotional diabetes? My girlfriend and I wanted a snack late on a Saturday night, so we ended up ordering 30 chicken nuggets, but we had to throw some fries in there too, so that it didn't look like we were catering a snuff film. My girlfriend and I almost got hit by a car that ran a red light, and on the back it had a big sticker that said, "In God we trust." I'm an agnostic, so how about we trust in that brake pedal instead? My girlfriend owns a giant onesie whose color I can only describe as being NASA orange. During quarantine, we almost pinned a badge on it and remade Apollo 13 in the living room. I took my girlfriend to her first hockey game, and now she keeps calling herself the Poutine Princess, which sounds like the name of either a children's show or a porn star in Canada. When people ask my girlfriend and I if we want to have kids, we always say that we're waiting to decide, and when they ask, for what? We say, to see if Waterworld is going to become a documentary or not. I don't want to have to describe Tampa in the past tense to my kid like it's a stripper-filled Atlantis. If you bring a kid into a bar, please know from the bottom of my heart that I hate everything you choose to be. You're the kind of person that watches student-teacher porn on a crowded midday flight, and I don't look forward to supporting your child with my hard-earned tax money in the future. I can tell which friends have bad kids by comparing their family photos to presidential portraits. If you look like Barack at the end of the second term, your kids are the shitty ones. Am I the only one who's realized that people who have national book clubs are cult leaders? Think about it. If I swapped out the Kool-Aid and white robes with kombucha and yoga pants, would you be able to tell the difference? I want to write a horror movie about a serial killer at a summer camp, but it's a Christian camp, so the kids aren't fucking, and he spends the whole movie helping them do arts and crafts and pranking the rich kids across the lake instead. If you make less than $70,000 a year and want a kid, just know that every time you look at that pea stick, you are praying for ramen. This is such a weird time to be alive and see how far we have, and have not, come. On the one hand, we still haven't solved racism or poverty, but on the other hand, I can buy a kidney and some Old Spice off Amazon and not even leave my house. The longer a crisis goes on, the more likely it is that cable news will interview a celebrity that had nothing to do with it about that crisis. If a nuclear power plant melts down and they can't contain it after a week, CNN will cut to Tom Arnold at some point. The older you get, the more important it is to check in on your friends. If somebody texts you and it reads like the closed captioning from an episode of Maury, don't wait until Sunday brunch to see how that bitch is doing. I consider myself educated, but not always cultured. Like, I've gotten out of over 20 escape rooms, but I also once accidentally washed my hands with mouthwash at a fancy restaurant. I'm very goddamn supportive of making it easier for people to go to therapy, but now you can text your therapist, and I'm not really cool with that. Why would I want to talk to someone about my childhood trauma or how I want to burn my neighbor's house down the same way I texted uncle I see 5 times a year, "Happy birthday!" Exclamation point, question mark? When I get bored at a doctor's office or if I'm on a long flight, I like to play a game with pictures of people I don't know called OkCupid or Crime Stoppers. You get bonus points if they actually use the same photo for both. Whoever invented charades is a terrible person but a marketing genius. What kind of person goes around thinking to themselves, how can I repackage Lockjaw as a party game for married people? I was watching a trailer for a movie about a jazz musician, and it was rated R for sexual content, graphic nudity, and brutal violence. What kind of musical snuff film did they make? It has coronets and ass whoopings? I have to watch it now. I saw a woman on Tinder who made a profile just to advertise her wedding planning services. Finding your wedding planner on Tinder is like going to see a mime. The communication will be poor, and everyone just leaves pissed off at the end of the night. I had an Uber driver tell me that I should drive myself places. Why would you tell me something that would take away your job? That would be like the manager of Planet Fitness looking around and being like, you know what? Fuck a juice bar. Let's put a golden corral right in the middle of the gym. Someone stole my credit card info and used it to pay for their SATs, and the woman from the bank was like, "Are you sure you didn't make this purchase?" Lady, I'm old enough to have both received and ignored an invite to my 10-year reunion. So yeah, I'm sure. I'm not old, but if a friend texts me after 9:30, I'm like, why do you have the same hours as a professor doing rails of coke with his students? As a 90s kid, I've come to the realization that you either die a hero or live long enough to see all the girls that you had a crush on as a child starring in Hallmark movies.